Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, my friend and colleague and birthday boy, Dan.
Hello.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday boy. No one
Thanks
says
a
that
lot.
anymore.
I
I suppose it's because we're not boys anymore.
Very much not a boy.
Sad.
Although, in a lot of ways, very much a boy.
Sure.
Man-child? You say that?
You're saying it, not me.
Well, I'm asking you.
No, I wouldn't say man-child. I reckon that's well harsh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, many happy returns from all of us here at the Big Bang Theory podcast.
Thanks. I've had nothing, no correspondence directly from anyone at the club.
No.
None of the trust board have wished me happy birthday.
There's probably reasons for that, which we'll come on to.
Yeah. Sad.
It is sad
After
far
everything
you've fallen.
I've done.
Anyway, to celebrate in a way, we were home to Reading on Saturday.
Yes.
Nice. It was nice. Nice Saturday, normal Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m.
Nice weather.
Nice weather. Nice bit of non-away kit wearing nonsense.
Yeah, 2 home kits playing it. The Reds against the Blues.
Reds against the Blues, both striped.
1,000 Reading supporters filling up that away end.
Good. Some of them wandering around town hammered, asking where the football club was. When I encountered them at about 2:45 on 4th Street, no, it was a bit earlier, they weren't heading in the right direction.
Oh, well.
They didn't ask me. I could have run after them, but I think it would have seemed like an act of aggression.
You don't want to chance it, do you?
Don't chance it. There was more of them than me. Anyway, it was a terrible start to the game. Oh, should we talk about the lineup? So McGuinness is off, sunning himself with the Northern Ireland.
Who were they playing?
I don't know.
I know he came on, didn't he, for about 3 minutes at the end.
Yes, he did. So he got his cap. Don't know what number he's on now. That was on Saturday, wasn't it?
He's had a good amount of
Or was it
games,
Friday?
hasn't he? Has he not?
He's had lots of games. It was Slovakia 2-0, and he came on at 90 plus 2.
Away at Slovakia? Or?
No, home. So
Okay.
he wasn't sunning himself, I'd imagine.
Definitely not.
No. Yeah, he came on for no time at all.
Well worth it. Was that a qualifier? Just a friendly?
Yes, it was a qualifier.
Okay, fair enough.
And that puts them second, well, joint first, really.
I think that's fair enough. They might have thought they might have needed him earlier. He clearly didn't. You know,
Yeah.
You know, he's sort of person in a ideal scenario, like how I would have pictured him being for Exeter City, with someone you could chuck on with about 10 minutes to go.
Yes, that's right.
If you need a goal.
Not to get too distracted, but it's a very close group they're in. Germany, Northern Ireland and Slovakia all on 6 points. Luxembourg somewhat trailing behind.
Difficult group, especially for Luxembourg.
Yes. I don't fancy their chances.
Northern Ireland, the north of Ireland, famously crap.
One World Cup, I think,
Yeah, possibly, but
with
wasn't that-
Whiteside
Yeah.
some time before. My grandma, Irish, famously had no idea what we were talking about when we talked about Northern Ireland.
Well, quite right.
But not just like no idea, would deny it or whatever. She'd go over and then she'd bring me back a football shirt and he'd be like, "Grandma, it's a Northern Ireland one." She'd be like, "What?"
Wow.
She knew about hurling.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, McGuinness wasn't there,
No.
so Wareham was leading the line, as they say.
Yeah, we've been playing 2 up front recently, haven't we? So we kind of went back to the kind of 1 up front job, I think. Well,
Yeah.
pretty
Well, it was,
sure. Yeah.
That's right. Reece Cole behind him. Higgins got the start. We've all been.
I know. I said last week
Pushing for.
there's no way that Colwell would do that, but he did.
He did it. Then leaving Brearley and Doyle Hayes is still injured, so Macmillan having to be the deeper midfield pairing.
Yeah.
And then a lovely Fitzwater, Yefeko and Sweeney back 3
Yeah. with
Danny Andrew, who's coming into his own, I'd say, and Niskanen, who, as we'll come on to, proved effective at certain points during the game. That's how we started.
Yeah.
Bench looks a bit thin, of course. You got Aitchison, and you got Wilson, and then it's kind of a bit. I suppose you got Ed Turns, but he's not likely to change a game.
There's quite a few. There's quite a few injured, isn't there? And some unavailable, or people are out on loan now, or So I think it's showing a bit the depth, and I think that showed later on in this match.
It did.
But good. Yeah. What minute was the goal?
Seventh, I
We
think.
gifted him a goal.
Well, we sixth
John
minute.
Leofeco.
Well, we started lively.
Yeah. But basically nothing happened before that, really, did it?
No.
John Leofeco, ill-judged header back to Joe Whitworth.
Yeah.
And then Jack Marriott, is that his name?
Pounced.
He pounced on the error.
I want to stand up for John Lee a bit. Obviously, you never head it back across the goal. Obviously that. But Whitworth is very slow to react. So...
Well, he's probably thinking, why the hell would he head this back to me?
He probably is. But there we are. So that was 1-0. That was disappointing to concede that. And given previous matches and ways in which games have played out, you fear the worst.
Yeah.
But we went at them, as they say.
Well, I think that was good. The crowd also got straight, didn't
miss a beat.
just carried on as if it hadn't happened, stuck with it. And, scored like a few minutes later.
11th minute, so within 5 minutes.
Yeah, Jaden Wareham against his old team.
Yeah, so it was a lovely build-up, wasn't it? There was some quite good, especially in the first half. What you want to see, really, more progressive tiki-taka. Pass, but it's going somewhere.
I thought it was a little bit more...
Well, then it can.
I thought the side looked... First half, I thought it actually looked pretty nicely balanced. It kind of had a good feel about it, the squad.
Yeah.
The team, sorry. And then I suppose, and that's even with certain positions where you go like, oh, I wouldn't have him there ideally. But I just think the balance kind of was kind of right. And there was some nice play.
Goal comes because Niskanen chases down, doesn't he?
He does really well, closes down a ball and does well to control it, and then it basically finds its way to Wareham, doesn't it? I think it's Reece Cole who ends up playing it to him in the end.
Yeah. Great finish.
Good finish. And then he sort of...
Yeah, curious non-celebration.
No, it very much was a celebration.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
When I looked at it, it was like, sorry.
He's looking at him like, arms out like this, then he gives him a big thumbs up, then he does a dance.
Oh, right, that is a celebration.
Oh, it's a celebration.
Oh,
right.
I read it wrong.
It's well funny.
I thought he was doing all that, I'm sorry.
Well, at the time, I thought that, but no, it was very much just kind of like, because they were chanting Wareham, what's the score at him just before.
Oh.
And then he gives them anyway, you can look it up yourself on the internet and be the judge.
Yeah, do better than me. I didn't fail to clock what was happening. And then there's rumours of his dad in the stand giving it the big one at the Reading supporters, but I haven't seen any evidence.
I haven't seen. I don't know if there's any footage of that.
I doubt it.
But yeah, well,
Yeah, so that was 1-1, and then we really had the whole first half going our way. We had several chances.
I really thought we were going to get the goal. Not that we particularly threatened. There wasn't any there was a few. There was that Reece Cole chance, and there was the Pierce Sweeney header off the bar.
Yeah.
Both probably should have done a bit better, but I felt like we were playing well enough that we can get a goal here. And then when it didn't come at half time, I was thinking like, oh, it's okay. Like
Attack the big
we're
bank.
doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Facing the big bank, we'll be all right. And then second half, they
made some adjustments.
They came out a lot quicker, closed us down, and then that was kind of the end of the match. Really, nothing else happened. Yeah,
I want to give a shout out to their fullback, I think he was, who I don't think I've ever seen this before. You rarely see a foul throw given, but he managed to give away two
foul throws and then
Same
subbed
game.
off. Yeah,
Ahmed it was. So fair play to him. That is going some.
Yeah,
they were terrible foul throws.
They really were. Yeah, and then then he brought off Higgins.
Oh, I didn't.
Who was kind of
that.
like, I mean, he didn't actually kind of he put in a few good balls. It wasn't like he was like, oh, he's playing so unbelievably well, I can't believe you bring him off. But he clearly gives us something that we don't have, which is pace and a willingness to take a man on.
Yeah.
And
take a man on in
also
variety of ways.
Ability to take a man on.
Yeah.
Which you probably can't say for some other people in the squad. But Colwood did say in the interview, it's just a kind of fitness kind of injury. He's not ready.
He had tailed off, I suppose.
Not ready to do the 90 minutes kind of thing. I don't know if he had. I don't think he had tailed off.
Do you not?
No. And also, kind of doesn't matter, does it?
Well, I wouldn't say so.
When you haven't got, the problem is now we didn't have anybody to bring on who could even approximate what he was doing.
And then
he brings on Aitchison to do it, which is kind of the best you got.
Yeah.
But very much not a winger at all.
No.
Then he tried swapping them round with Niskanen, that didn't work either.
Then he brings John Lee off.
But again, fitness thing.
Right.
I mean, he's been out for a long time. He's got to be managed. And we've seen the effect of some of the. If we get a couple of injuries, the squad
falls apart.
It's not the deepest in terms of like quality. So
yeah, were you pleased with the point?
Yeah,
Fine.
Yeah, I was disappointed that we couldn't show more of what we did in the first half. Not that it was like the best I've ever seen us play, but I just found it a bit more exciting, and I was kind of into it. And then it kind of second half, didn't really get that.
So it takes us up to.
But yeah, I'll take a point given that they, did they have? They weren't really that good either, were they? Reading, they didn't look much good.
Well, no, they're now in the relegation zone.
Are they?
Yeah, takes us up to 16th. 12 games, 13 points. We've played more than some teams now because of they've had international breaks.
Yeah,
I would have 2 extra points would have been quite helpful. It is what it is. I still think we'll probably be all right. Blackpool and Peterborough look like they're having a terrible time, but there's only actually 5 points between us.
I think it's a little bit too early to say, to be honest. Well, it's definitely too early to say, just because there's like all the teams around us. You think, well, they probably won't be there.
I guess I'd just like to accumulate as many points as possible.
Yeah, I don't think we're. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you'd like to think that we'll probably be end up about where we are now.
Seems probably.
History tells us anything. Although you never know. Anyway, yeah, so that was the match.
That was the match. Next up is Stockport.
Yes.
Away. Who,
They're good, are they?
Well, yeah. I mean,
they're
in
good
fourth.
last year. Right.
They're good last year. They're in fourth at the minute. They're only 3 points off the top, although Stevenage is still flying with less games than anyone else. Seem to know what they're doing, don't they, Stockport?
They got cash, have they? I think they've got cash. They come like raring up the leagues.
Yeah.
And they've got Coldwell's son playing for them.
Yeah.
Or like for the youth team or something.
Yeah. They beat Blackpool.
So at
the weekend. They've beaten Huddersfield. They only drew with Reading.
Forgotten man, Ryan Rydell.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got on loan for them, so I'm guessing he...
And Andrew.
Wouldn't be able to... Well, no, Andrew is our player.
Is he?
Yeah, we signed him.
Did we?
Yes.
I thought he was alone as well.
No, we signed him. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
No, maybe I'm not. Maybe not. Maybe we didn't sign him. No, I think we did.
Okay. Well.
Either way, Rydell's injured, so it's not like that's going to be matter.
Still got Oliver Norwood. They've got I mean, clearly we're taking their players that they don't want, so it's obvious, isn't it, that they seem to be working with a different kind of squad. It's still Dave Challoner, their manager. I think he's brought them up from the conference. I think that's been him the whole time.
John Challoner.
Not John Challoner, who... Is he also a manager? I think he is, isn't he, at some low level?
Is he?
Isn't he?
I don't know. So
Stockport away, given everything... Well, I mean, you never know, do you? We went to Lincoln and we got a thing. My general impression would be it'll be a struggle. John Challoner is still playing at Stamford AFC, age 44.
He's not playing.
He is.
What do you mean he's playing?
He played 18 minutes on Saturday. Lost to Macclesfield.
Blimey, it's pretty good level.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good level considering he's playing for Exeter City in 2004 or something.
Well, we won he was there for the playoff we lost, the conference playoff we lost, wasn't he?
Right, so it's like 2005-ish.
Yeah.
When was that? A bit later than that.
So yeah, I suppose he would have been early 20s. Now he's mid-40s.
All right, fair play, John. Yeah, if you're listening.
Look how young he looked there.
Yeah, I mean, he
looks like his
hair is so 2000s.
If you can't remember, it's the old flick out at the back, black side parting.
It's quite, no, that's not. If you describe like that, it doesn't sound like what it is.
Well, it's a big scrape over side parting, isn't it? With a spiky bit in the middle.
It's quite hard to describe. Is it a side parting? It's sort of parted on both sides, isn't it? It's kind of like spiky but long at the side, but very much a boy band look. If you think of, say, one of the lads from
Five.
Yeah, or from S Club 7. Do they have like that kind of hair?
Yeah, the lad that died had that kind of hair, didn't he?
One of them died?
Paul from S Club 7 died last year.
Blimey, what of? You don't want to say.
Mental health problems and suicide, I think.
Deary me.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Sold all his... Didn't have any money left, did he? Paul from S Club 7.
I don't know anything about him.
I'll tell you this. This is a tragic tale of modern fame. No money. You know, a bit of was completely stitched up by the record company and the management, and a bit of everything he did have got taken off him by poor choices, investments and that. Some of the other members of the band, I think Rachel Stevens, had money, better investments, I guess had earned more from other stuff.
We don't want to put him on the front of
quite.
FHM.
Yeah, quite. He's not a model, is he? So then S Club 7, it was rumoured we're going to get back together, and the rest of the band realised it would really help Paul out if they did these big stadium tours, and he never made it to the tours. Took his own life before he got there.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
What, it's booked in?
Yeah.
That is a tragic tale.
Yeah, miserable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, John Challoner keeping his memory alive by...
They should do a biopic and John Challoner should play him.
I don't think he looks like him anymore, sadly.
Yeah, but we don't know what he looks like. We don't know what...
No, that's true. We don't know what he looks like now. But
presumably it looks like John Challoner.
You'd have to get a 20-year-old to pay him.
I mean, the main problem we've got here is John Challoner's presumably not an actor or doesn't know how to act.
He's busy playing for Stamford AFC.
Yeah, true.
Is he also the manager? I mean, that's good going at 44. Southern Premier, Stamford. It says here he played in the Football League for York City. So his only league experience... Yeah, he was there. He joined us 2005. Then... Oh, I can't keep up.
What, he left after the promotion?
He reached the playoff conference final with Aldershot. And then he left. No, he left after our unsuccessful playoff. So he wasn't there for the year we went up.
Oh.
Yeah. And so he lost in 3 conference playoff finals.
Oof.
But he did get there in the end with York City. And he's a big fan of Star Wars. And he's so much a fan of Star Wars, this is all Wikipedia, so it must be true, that the Imperial March was played as part of his wedding ceremony.
Is that the bad one? Yeah, that's the bad one, isn't it?
The bad one.
That's not a good omen for the bride, is it?
Doesn't say how the wedding's going, how the marriage is going. Still married. He married his wife Lara in 2007. Unreliable source. Fine. What is the unreliable source? Daily Mirror. Yeah, that's right. He had Star Wars played at the his wedding.
Do you think Lara stood at the altar going like, oh, I'm not sure about this. I think this music usually spells, something bad. Means something bad's going to happen.
Also, how slow was the Newsweek at the Daily Mirror? They had to report on John Challoner's wedding.
A man who's, almost never played in the EFL.
What's going on there?
I mean, if you haven't noticed the irony of what you've just said, then...
yeah, right, fair comment. But at least we're Exeter City themed. What's the Daily Mirror doing?
That's true, yeah.
All right, anyway. How did we get onto that? Dave Challoner.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Dave Challoner. Right, fine. So it's Stockport of the weekend.
Right, yeah.
If we get anything, I'll be delighted.
Yeah.
Be another Lincoln.
But we never expect anything from Lincoln, so...
Well, you know how we'll do it, and Colwell's got a system for this kind of game.
Yeah.
You never know. Higgins will have to start, I would say. Or come on with half an hour to go.
Well, but he won't do that. Would he do that?
You one man apace. No, he put McGuinness on up top, won't he? And Wareham, Higgins will be on the sidelines.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Interesting one.
All right.
Anything from that, would be brilliant.
I'd be delighted. And then, of course, next home match, Argyle, Devon Derby.
Ooh. Yeah.
Neither of us coming to it in the best of form. Obviously, Derby games, anything's possible.
The way you said that sounded like me and you. Well,
I'd also say that was true.
I tend to agree. Yeah. What do you think was our peak?
Form is lacking across the board.
I think our peak was just after we got promoted.
Yeah.
I think we've plateaued.
I think my peak was when I said thank you very mate to that guy at the Swindon.
That was very early on.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I peaked early.
Yeah. what were we talking about?
Argyle's the next game.
Argyle, yeah, blimey.
Ugh.
So we'll do another one next week.
Yeah, we will.
But then it's next. Is it next week? The game.
Yeah.
The Argyle match is next week.
Is it? It's week
So
on
week
Thursday.
on Thursday.
Week on Thursday. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So so there'll be one this time next week, and then there'll be another one
Yeah. In fact, yeah.
after the Argyle game, because there's no game at the weekend, and we won't be bothering to talk about Exeter City versus Arsenal under 21s, because
We will not.
who gives a shit about that?
All right. Well, we'll talk about some non-football stuff after this break. Play the Imperial March. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. Remember, you can email us, bigbankpod@gmail.com. Particularly if you've got any info that might be useful to us. This might become more apparent in a minute. So, Dan.
So far, we've had no
we had no whistleblower.
no take up on our offer to whistle blow.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why. But
Yeah.
you know what?
I tell you, because
The
Nick
offer's
Hawker is hoping that his autobiography, which gives all the gory details, will be a massive bestseller. And he don't want to,
You don't want to give anything away.
don't want to give anything away.
Maybe.
So, here we go. Ready for this, everyone?
Joe Gorman, quite happy to go on podcasts before when he was
Yeah, it was all going well.
flavour of the month, but now he won't come on a podcast after it's all gone tits up.
So last
Sad.
week we were looking forward with some optimism because a group of people calling themselves Trust in Change had put together a kind of not manifesto, but a kind of this is what we think needs to happen kind of thing. And some of us are going to stand for election to the Trust Board, and some of us aren't, but some of us are going to support that work, etc., etc. We were feeling quite positive that people were standing up and doing helpful things.
Yeah, looked good to me. It still does, and
Still does look good. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
We also talked about the long-awaited review, which has gone very silent. We're starting to see why, because there's no rumours.
Well, let me guess. Let me put for this. I would suggest we're not going to see that review anytime soon.
I would suggest
There's no
that.
point asking Sue Gray.
No, that review has gone in the special filing cabinet.
It has, yeah.
With no returns available. So this is all.
So what's happened now?
Well, this is all. This isn't. We haven't had official statements, but this is coming from sources which are, if true, awful for the club. Not just the trust, but the whole shindig.
What's in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, we haven't got the money we need for upcoming bills.
Skint.
With imminent debts.
Right.
So the rumour now, strong rumour now, is that when we sold Jay Stansfield, something was due at this point in time. So the money that came in, there was tax due. That's one rumour, and the tax bill is coming. So obviously outside of our normal operating costs, and we haven't put the money aside for that, or we haven't written the contract in such a way as to not be able to pay the tax until we get the full or whatever, or we haven't been paid in a big enough percentage that means we can pay the tax first. Or other rumour is that given that, as we've known, the trust has had to, I'm doing air quotes at Dan, lend cash to the club.
Yeah, give.
That still doesn't cover the shortfall. And the shortfall doesn't relate to tax from the Stansfield sale, but perhaps general ongoing costs, which are higher than they ever should have been. We don't know that yet. These are two rumours going around, and people kind of doing their best to work out if rumour of not money left, where the money's gone. That's insane. To the point where we've gone from very recently saying the club's in as good financial health as ever to now, oh no, we're going to have to borrow money from sources that maybe we won't even be able to borrow the money from in order to pay our just general running costs, which is obviously general tax and VAT, wages, the big one, and other costs. Now, Dan, can I just run past a few things to you?
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord, let me get this right, 2021,
Yeah.
post-COVID. So this is the beginning of the season 2021. The football club launched Project 6000. Remember that?
I remember that. Yes.
So Project 6000, we're in League Two at this point.
Yeah.
Was that if we get 6,000 paying customers through the gates every other week, we will have the money needed to be a sustainable League One club. Right, that was the target.
Yeah.
Well,
at the time.
At the time. And now obviously costs, blah, 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 blah. But at the time. So that was 2021. Then in 2020, let me get this right, 3, Joe Gorman gets the job as Chief Financial Officer. So he's not in charge. He's in charge of the finances.
Yeah.
And Chief Exec, who was in interim, that guy Jeremy Tipper, remember that name?
Yeah. Was he the bloke who owned the carpet shop?
No, that was just a sponsor. He ran Carpet Right.
Okay.
He didn't own Carpet Right. Jeremy Tipper came in similar time. So Joe joined 23 October as Chief Financial Officer. September 24, he becomes Chief Executive. This is only a year ago.
I think I'm following you.
And
the murky world of commercial business, isn't it?
the quote from Nick
Who are
Hawker,
these people?
Yeah. The quote from Nick Hawker at that time. So Joe hadn't been a chief executive. Okay.
He'd never been one before.
He'd never been one before. Came from a financial load of jobs. He then gets, obviously shown promise, gets moved to chief exec. Nick Hawker said at the time, since joining the club last year, he has shown real drive and determination to ensure the club succeeds and continues its path of strategic and sustainable growth as we move through the next phase of our progression. Now, the rumours then, when he was let go, he did that interview last January where everyone was singing his praises. Remember, it was Nottingham Forest time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The rumours then were, the kind of general feeling was this guy knows what he's doing. He's going to take us places. He understands the process. He understands what's needed, sustainable targets, all that stuff. Come, I think it was June, wasn't it, when the trust had to lend, air quotes again, 400,000. But in that gap, we'd seen us go from everything's great. We've sold Millennium Alley for near £2 million. We've, as you know, since 2021, sold Josh Key, sold Jay Stansfield, had more Watkins money come in, other players that we sold as well, Nombe. We've gone from that kind of peak, plus hitting 6,000 supporters a week, almost always, to we've had to borrow this money, the trust has no money left to lend, and now the club needs more money, if the rumours are true, and the trust can't lend it.
Yeah.
That's a dramatic
I don't know if you can
crash.
yeah, exactly. You can't. This can't be explained away by the academies. It was inevitably the well of the academy has dried up, or which are things that we always worried would happen and stuff. That may be true to a certain extent. We haven't sold as many academy players on as we maybe have done in the past, but we still have made money from player sales, as one like you've just said.
Yeah, so and some of those not in the general plan.
And we've hit those numbers. It's very rare now that we have under 6,000 at a home game.
Yeah,
I know things change, but I don't know. There's too much murkiness. Gorman's gone. We don't know why. He left of his own accord, apparently. For personal reasons. Load of the trust board have gone, and then we're now hearing that some of the club board have resigned. Is this right? Half
of the club board have resigned,
but that's not been announced.
No.
There's if
that rumour's true, that's a disaster.
Yeah, it's not looking good. If there's anything to it, which
the rumours have come from people who don't say mad stuff.
Yeah.
That makes me think...
Deary me.
I mean, it does two things. It puts our immediate season in danger.
Yeah.
And it puts our medium-term financial security in peril because any loans we have to make or any mad fundraising we have to do or any players we have to sell are outside of the normal plan. I would suggest...
Also, if we can even get any money for it, who would you sell for money?
Well, yeah, also that. It also... Gary Caldwell is a man who's worked with some really big football clubs. He's not likely to... if we know he's always looked elsewhere anyway, it's going to speed up his desire to leave. It just everything. We've gone from what felt like solid foundations to very wobbly structures.
We've got to find out what's going on. Someone's got to say something. We can't go on like this. Like, surely.
No. So the trust elections are upcoming.
If someone's done something, why don't they just own up to it? It's going to come out anyway, isn't it?
It still seems to me the most logical explanation here is, as we knew, as everything was suggested from previous topsy-turvy events, the budget that was set, presumably by the chief executive, Joe Gorman, presumably, but in agreement with the club board and in agreement with the members of the trust who are on the club board, was overly ambitious. And then it wasn't monitored so that when things changed, and we know, as we've said, costs are rising, and we know, as we've said, there's no academy players, but as that didn't happen, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were expecting to sell Tom Dean for $1 million.
We've been spending like mad, haven't we?
Well, that's what it now looks like. Or it's not even like mad, is it? But everything's so expensive in terms of footballers, and we run at a pretty tight...
Yeah, but if you think after this whole thing happened, this was still when there was a kind of pause in the recruitment in the summer.
Yeah.
But after that, we paid fees for some players.
Yeah, and we've got expensive players, and we've overbought in certain
What
positions.
I mean is, like, yeah, exactly. It's not like we've gone like...
We need a goalkeeper.
Where's the old... Yeah, it's not like we've gone straight into the free transfer market and we're getting, just getting anyone who could play.
No.
We seem to have, got the best ones that we could conceivably get.
Yeah.
And we paid money for some of them.
Yeah.
So then people must have known about this, surely.
And that fits back in with the Project 6000. Nothing has changed in terms of what we would expect to be a successful football club. Players have been sold, players have been bought in, supporters have attended, there's been no pandemic, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, either the bottom has really fallen out of something that we don't know about, and I don't know what that could be.
Pizza twists.
Pizza twist. There's a gazillion pizza twists rotting away.
I reckon that's what
somewhere.
it is. I reckon that's what it is.
Not
I reckon
only-
they filled up all underneath the big bank with all the people. They thought, look, trust me, these are going to be massive. We're going to have people queuing up that aren't even coming to the game to get their hands on. It's going to be like Dubai chocolate. It's going to be the next big thing. We're going to have queues all the way down to John Lewis for these. And then
you know what happened?
We slagged them off on a podcast. Or someone tasted them.
Yeah.
Realised, oh no, these are terrible. This is the worst thing I've ever eaten.
Fill up the bank.
We're going to have to do something. What can we do?
If you've gone down to the big bank.
Put them anywhere. Hide them anywhere.
They've been pumped in at high pressure into the concrete underneath the big bank.
Yeah, and then they vacuumed the space out with a hoover.
If you wonder why it's bouncier than normal,
more in.
It's either that or, here's my theory, they sold their shares in Labubu just before the stock really rose, Put their money in Pizza Twist. We're gonna divest.
What is Labubu?
You know about this mad thing? It's like the trend. Labubu. It's a weird, sinister-looking rabbit teddy. You're not seeing them; they're everywhere.
I'm not. Where everywhere?
Like vape shops. Labubu, look it up.
How do I spell it? Is it L-A? Oh, here we are.
I think,
Labubu.
Yeah.
Labubu.
I mean,
I have heard of a Labubu, but I didn't know it was this.
Yeah, it's that. It's insane. I only know about it because once my...
this is just this little toy.
Yeah, but they're everywhere. You can't buy them for love nor money.
Why?
Don't know. No, I've literally got no idea. I only know about it because of the scorn of my 10-year-old daughter.
I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
What is this? Anyway, I reckon they should have invested in Labubu.
It's a Furby, basically, is it?
Yeah, and they instead invested in Pizza Twists. Can
we get a confirmation on this Labubu rumour?
I'd like to know.
I don't know.
Taggy was going to rebrand it Lajuju, and
He tried to do his own run. Small, soft toy versions of Julian Tag for sale.
yeah, Lajuju
Yeah.
didn't catch on. So something's insane here. Something's insane. So yeah, it looks like.
Is that what it is? Because to be honest, I don't
think it's a little boo boo. Just for clarity.
No. This has something insane happened.
Well, either
Is this something? Is this just like a natural? What I mean is, I'm not a financial man. I just don't know about this kind of thing. Really, I can't really. And with money and like numbers and maths, just sort of bounces off me.
Here's for the.
So I don't know if
Here's
it's
for the person who
normal
doesn't
or.
care. Here's the information for the person who doesn't care. A business, any business, whether it's a labubu seller in the high street with a shopping trolley, or whether it's a football club, or whether it's Apple, they forecast their income, they project that, and then they set a budget accordingly.
Let it be going to be a big seller.
They think that, yeah, they think. What's an example? So Apple think, okay, this year we've got the iPhone 17 coming out.
Oh, that Apple, right? Yeah,
Apple. They think we've got the iPhone 17 coming out. We normally sell this many.
Yeah.
This is our bottom line. If we do well on marketing and it's a nice thing that people like the look of, we'll sell this many. If something goes mad and we really hit the jackpot, we'll sell this many. So you have kind of a number of budgetary expectations, right? And a football club would do that. You'd say, all right, if 6,000 people come but we don't sell anyone, this is our budget. If 8,000 people come, we have a really good league run, a good cup run, and we sell Millenic Alley, this is our top level budget. And you work accordingly.
Yeah.
Now, you may change throughout the year. A sensible person would change throughout the year. So you sell Alley for more than you expect, but it's happened at the end of the transfer window, so that goes into next year's budget. Or you have a really good cup run, okay? So Forest are at home, and then you win that, and you think, we're going to Old Trafford. Our budget can increase, but that's probably next year. So a sensible person budgets for the following year. You know what you've got in the bank. Then if there's some absolute disaster, Giovanni Brown is convicted of something worse than he was convicted of, and you're expecting to sell him for $1 million, as happened, and then you get no money for him.
Yeah.
Right, so that's your drop down, isn't it? What we've done, given that we asked 400,000 off the trust in June, was it?
June, yes.
And yet now we're in October, which is, now I can't do the maths, 4 months on. Did our budget remain the same even though we're having to borrow money? Because I don't understand how you wouldn't at that point think, oh, we're really going to have to clamp down here. Gary can't have a transfer budget. Like you've said, we're just going to get the free transfers. We're not buying anyone. It's one youth team player plus one professional player per position. That's all you're getting. Because that's the obvious thing to do. And so therefore, it feels like...
Well, at the time, I kind of thought, well, it can't be that bad, really, because we're still, you know...
We've got quotes from the first in-person meeting where everyone suddenly knew, and we're told by the trust, it's not that bad. This is just a blip.
Yeah.
It ain't a blip. If this is true, it ain't a blip. It's a disaster. And therefore, like you say, has something mad happened that no one could predict? Well, we haven't heard of anything. There's not been a pandemic.
And there's not been even any kind of like... Surely if that was the case, you'd just
say, well, this has been a disaster. Cat and Fiddle's burnt down.
Because the longer if say something has happened, that's something, you know, that's... I don't know what it could possibly be that they could keep a lid on that's caused all this to happen, then you'd think you would have... Like, what is it that you wouldn't just go like, oh, by the way, this has happened, and so this is why all these things are going on?
And you know, like when COVID happened, and it turned out that no football clubs had insurance against a pandemic. Remember that? Well, okay, you kind of let people off. It's been 100 years since the pandemic.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
But we all knew about the pandemic, so you'd be like, oh, okay, I understand that. Like you said, there's been nothing. Nothing's burnt down. No one's died. No one's left the club under a shadow. I mean, did we have to pay Joe Gorman off so much that, you know...
Can't be.
Can't be that. And you'd probably be insured against that. So it's mysterious.
Yeah.
Unless, this is what I suspect, Dan, we never changed the budget. Gorman set a budget that was overambitious, and not once has anyone thought to change it. And so we've kept spending as if X was coming in.
We can't have done that. If you've had to transfer 400 grand just to cover the next month's wages or whatever it was,
Yeah.
which is what they said, right?
That's what they said.
Cash flow.
Cash flow because of end of season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just keep spending, would you?
Well, I wouldn't.
Because at that point, we also know that after we give them that 400 grand, there's basically nothing left in the trust bank
That's
account.
right. The owner.
So we know that's the end. We know that's the last bit of money we could have given them.
Yeah.
And I was under the assumption, yeah, but we've done that, and now we'll build the coffers back up.
That's what we were led to expect.
But
Because the trust has had every opportunity, given that some trust board members sit on the club board, the trust has every opportunity, given that we're all like, what the hell's going on?
this is what I mean. It's the same people, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
some
some
of
of
them are
them.
the same people.
Except,
So how can that? So you can't. The idea that the club's been acting behind the trust's back, it's impossible. You can't not tell you. Oh, we're going to do this, by the way, but don't tell you, not this you. Don't tell the other you that's on the. No, I won't tell him. Don't worry. No, he doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I know everything about it, but I don't know anything about it. You know, it doesn't make sense.
here's my assumption then. Again,
Yeah.
we've lost a lot of trust board members. Were they the ones sitting on the club board and they've not been replaced?
I don't think they were.
Or are people starting to wash their hands of it? Is that just it?
That's what it looks more like. That's the more I think about it, the more I think the ones that have left or resigned or whatever, are they going like, look, I don't want anything to do with this. This is bad, and it's not. I don't want to be involved.
I've made the warning. I've said what I've observed, and now I can't do any more, so I'm off. It may be.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Now, caveat, this may all not be true.
It might all be a load of bollards.
Yes. But I am concerned, and this does fit. This would explain to me why it's rumbled on and rumbled on. Surely the review, if it was just...
Do you want to know my conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
There was no review.
Ooh, that's interesting. Never happened.
Just don't think it was happening. Well, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But I mean, what's the point? If it's that bad, why are you doing a tiny little review on that little bit?
Well, what we all expected, I think, when it first came out was, well, as we've said on the podcast, the budget was over-ambitious. We stuck to it longer than we should have. We didn't allow for the changes that happened. We were running a budget that wasn't even kind of from last year's income. We were running it on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I expected. And I thought the review would say that we put a new system in place so that there are budgetary checks throughout the days, weeks, months.
Yeah.
That should have been a really straightforward review. Now, we still haven't got it. Weeks and weeks on.
Well, they've just gone silent. The annoying thing is that this trust board meeting thing is that right? No, the trust meeting.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Is tonight. So they might address some of this, and they might just go, "Oh, that's all. It's not even true. None of that's true. It's just the same as before," kind of thing.
I would struggle to believe them at this point.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but perhaps it might shed some light on what's going on.
Light.
We don't know, but I can't wait.
Yeah, so
to
if that's true, if you know now the result of the trust board meeting, and we've said all this and they've said it, fine, okay. We'll talk about it more next week, obviously. But this is, could be really difficult times ahead.
Yeah. Hope not.
Oh, obviously. But
We can't be getting into this again.
all the more reason for new elected members of the trust board. Please. Thanks to everyone that's standing on that ticket.
Mm.
All right.
What are you getting yourself into, though? I'd be worried about doing it.
Some
shit show. Would
some
you want to
people
get
do
involved?
this- some people do this. Some people do this stuff for a living, don't they?
Yeah,
So
they probably understand it a lot more than I do, I suppose.
And there is, there are always people that come in to sort out the problems.
Yeah.
And those people, if they know they can sort out problems and be honest and open and say X, Y, and Z are the problems, this is how we're going to resolve it, they'll get a lot of goodwill behind them.
Mm.
So that's, I suppose, what's pushing these people on. And fair play to you for doing that as a volunteer for our football club.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And then you can sort it out and we can get back to stupid jokes about stupid food choices.
Well, we'll do that anyway.
We'll carry on with that.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see, by the way, I don't know why they didn't do this. I saw on one of those football food Instagrams, someone had made a burrito, but like curry burrito.
Right.
It's a really good, solid wrap full of curry and rice. I want to see that. It looked delicious.
Sounds quite specific.
It'd be messy, that's for sure.
Well, there, yeah.
You'd have to wear the grey.
How long does that take to make?
I guess they just have them ready, don't they?
Well, they're pre-made.
Pre-made, bosh, bosh, bosh. Pre-wrapped. I'd get well into that.
And put in that hot cupboard that they have the pasties in.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's an idea. I mean,
We've got bigger problems.
A bit of a risk, innit, given what happened with the pizza twists.
Sure.
Oh no, I've just made that up, haven't I? That's not actually the case. Well, we don't know.
What, they ruined the club financially?
Yeah.
Yeah, you made that up, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's just a strong suspicion.
yeah.
It's just what any sensible, right-minded person's thinking.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I would like to just kind of like be there thinking, like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny to have a pizza with,
Yeah. Jam in it.
Jam on it or marshmallows.
Yeah, that's what more our level of chat.
But all this is going on.
I know.
Then again, if we were doing this podcast back in the old Russell and Lewis days,
Yeah.
it probably would have been, making fun of his hair or something.
Well, that's what we like to do. Challoner, Russell and Lewis, Ilmari Niskanen. They're a golden thread. Dan just sank in his office chair amusingly.
I didn't know it even went down.
Yeah. Unlike Umari Niskanen, who's often going down unnecessarily. Okay, so we'll be back next week to talk Argyle.
Overshadowed now. I feel like it's been...
Maybe not. Maybe
looking forward to that. And now I'm just thinking about the bad news.
we'll talk...
Bad news
Stockport.
and irrelevant news.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We're getting comments saying this is more serious than usual, and we know it is, and we wish it wasn't.
Were people saying that, are they?
Well, only like...
Is that why you brought up labubus?
I didn't bring that up on purpose. It just came to me.
Oh.
Much of what I say.
Okay.
Yeah, labubus. You go out now and you'll see one in a vape shop, and you think, oh, that.
Well, I'm not planning to go in a vape
No,
shop.
they're in the window always.
Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, yeah.
Where else can you get them? Claire's?
I don't know. No, I think they're real, like black market kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think the real ones are really expensive because they're rare, and so everything else is a knockoff.
I don't... This is...
Talking of knockoffs,
This is
I'm getting
nonsense.
absolutely bombarded. Like, it's my own fault for clicking on things, by fake shirt sellers trying to sell me an Argyle shirt. Like
fake Argyle shirt?
Fake Argyle shirt, £13.
Oh,
It's either Argyle or Ipswich.
No one's even bothering to make fake City shirts.
They're not. So yeah, I guess in the past I've clicked on, I'll be honest with you, Dan, I've occasionally bought the not an official England shirt, and
you know full well I don't care about that. Let's support our black market brothers.
yeah, I'm slightly worried about who's having to make them.
Yeah, I forgot about all that.
there's
I
all
was just
that.
thinking about the corporate greed of Nike.
Yeah, I want to get one over on them.
But yeah,
I am worried
the
about
alternative's probably not much better, is it?
No, but then they're
Okay,
probably
I
all be made in the same factories anyway, aren't they?
I retract the comment about black market brothers.
Yeah, it's troubling. Anyway, I have bought one in the past. So now, obviously, does your internet always think you're in Plymouth? Mine always does.
My phone quite often says I'm in Plymouth.
Yeah, I guess it's because it's the nearest summon. Anyway, it obviously
Disgrace,
thinks...
We'll have a word
It thinks
with-
this
we'll have a
guy
word with
knows
Paul
about...
McCartney about it.
Yeah, right. This guy knows about football, lower league football, and dodgy shirts. Let's sell him an Argyle one.
Yeah, maybe. It must be that.
Yeah. So, but honestly, every other advert, it's either that or, are you a dad aged 42 with no life insurance?
Oh, right, yeah.
I get loads of that.
I'll tell you what you need.
Yeah. Yeah, that blocker, a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what are my adverts?
None, I think.
No adverts.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Isn't that how ad blocker works?
Suppose so.
They didn't give you different adverts. It just gives you no adverts.
No advert. Oh yeah, maybe I'll look
Or
into
go
it.
on the dark web.
And what am I looking at there?
I don't know, guns.
I got no interest in guns.
Yeah, but if you buy all the guns so no one else can have them.
I don't know if I've got enough money to buy all the guns. I think there's quite a lot out there.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I? Have you got an order in for
Bet you can get a labubu on the dark web.
guns being sent to Jerusalem? Yes. Can I redirect them, please, to Exeter?
I'll have those.
Can I pay you once I've sold them? Sure.
Yeah.
And then I'll pump them into the big bank where all illicit gubbins goes.
If you want to listen to, we don't do a Patreon or anything, but if you want to find our dark web version of the Big Bang Theory, please have a look.
What are we selling on there? Just everything, guns.
We're not selling anything, but it's stupider than the main one.
Yeah,
And
if you think this is stupid,
more controversial.
it's stupid and
That's
more...
where you can find the lost Ben Purrington episode.
True. If you wonder what we're talking about, it wasn't actually controversial. We can say it now, but there we are.
I don't think it was.
So yeah, we'll be back both on the dark web and the normal web.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll talk about Stockport. We'll talk about club ownership, presumably, and we'll talk about getting one over on Billy Bray and
Pilgrim Pete.
And who else is from Cornwall? I don't even know. No one.
There's no one. That's part of the problem with them. They haven't ever produced anyone of any note.
Who's that annoying rugby player from there?
Don't know any rugby players. Will Carling. That's the only rugby player I know.
He's not Cornish.
It's literally the only rugby player I
Jack
could name.
Knoll. He's Cornish.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Well, Cornish and rugby. So he's not in your interests field.
Absolutely not. I don't mind Cornwall. I just don't like. I just don't think they've done anything.
What have you done, Cornwall? Not one thing.
They sort of founded America, didn't they? Annoyingly.
Not really.
Well, bits of it.
I mean, of course, that was Plymouth specifically.
That's what
not
I mean.
Cornwall. Yeah, all right.
Plymouth's in Cornwall.
Plymouth's done more than Cornwall has.
Plymouth is in Cornwall.
Plymouth's next to Cornwall.
It's literally not, though, is it? It's in it, but they decided they want to be in it because Devon's better.
They chose which river to boundary, didn't they?
Let's not get into this now.
No, we'll have to
talk
say
about
that
that next week.
And then we'll get cut up by some Argyle fan Instagrams and lambasted.
Probably, yeah.
All right. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. That's a really long episode. Well done for making it this far.
Is it?
52 minutes.
Oof. I don't think anyone's made it this far. I can say anything at this point.
Nice reward for your birthday.
Yeah. No chance anyone listening to this.
No, all right. Well, thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, special prize for you. I'll tell you where all the real labubus are hidden.
I'll give you £100.
All right. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.